Hey guys, welcome to Last Movie Standing. I'm back. Been on a little bit of a hiatus, just dealing with life. In the process of finishing production on my own feature film right now, so it's just been crazy hectic the last 2 weeks. But I'm excited to be back in the chair talking to you guys about movies, about physical media. And what better way to start it off than something slightly controversial? I think it's controversial, but we're going to talk about bootlegs today.
Everybody does it. It's just that nobody talks about it.
Bootlegs. Jolly Rogers, pirated movie. A lot of people call them different things. Home brews, homegrowns. I just call them bootlegs. We all have them. At least most of us have them. Some purists are just anti-no. I feel like there are speculations when it comes to bootlegs. I personally don't believe in just bootlegging everything. For me, it's got to be a very specific reason that I want to own this on physical media, because I cancel most streaming services. Like, I don't live with them all 24/7, but I still want to watch these movies. And some have never come to any physical media format outside of like like, I have one on here that's only available on VHS, and that VHS is like $100. I'm like, no, thank you. But I found a copy. I think it's a YouTube copy or something. But based on the thumbnail, you're probably here for Star Wars. And I showed these off in another video before, and I got a lot of questions about it. So people text me and message me all the time about it. So let's just start off the bat with the big one. Star Wars, the DeSpecialized editions. These I got off Etsy. I'm not really going to put where, all that stuff. You can find these pretty easily. eBay, Etsy, different places. These I got recently. These were not that cheap either. But I will say, so I do own the regular versions of this too. I do have that. So it's not like I'm like, I don't know what's what I'm looking for. It's not like I'm not supporting the actual thing. Like, how many copies of Star Wars I have? Hold on. Should have got these when I started. Like, here are the VHSs. Here are the Blu-rays. So these came out like what, 2011? Like the first time on Blu-ray, I think. I paid my dues. I paid my money. And honestly, after seeing these, I kind of prefer these. Now, I don't know the resolution of these. These look fantastic, by the way. These copies of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, they look great. I don't know if they're I think on the thing it said they're 720p versions, but on 1080p disc, I don't know. I don't know if they're just upscaled, but they look great. And I do know there are 4K copies out there now. I don't need the 4K copies. One, I've seen multiple videos. I've seen some videos that praise the 4K DeSpecialized ones, and I've seen some that are like, well, they're not very good, but they're gonna get better. There are some issues they're working out. Like, I don't need to buy different versions of these copies. Like, these Blu-rays are dope, and I'm gonna say it, I'm not ashamed. I did spend money and I bought these, and I'm proud of it. I don't care. I even went so far, I bought the slipcovers with them too, which are separate. So each one of these have slipcovers. So this is the artwork. It's basically the same artwork. I love the old VHS look. And then you got these. These were, how much did I pay for these? I'll just be honest with you guys. I think for all three of the slipcovers were like $35 plus shipping. And then these movies were probably $30 each, or $25 each or something. So it's all of this together is probably over $100. But I think it's worth it, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Like, I feel I'm the kind of person in my collection. I wanted each one of my movies to have the slipcover because some of them, most all the ones I have do. So it all looks great on the shelf. And yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into these. Like, if you can find them, I highly suggest getting these because they look fantastic, and they're kind of my preferred way to watch them now, and they look great. Like, they really do look great. It's great seeing how the special effects were back in the 70s and 80s, like, but before George Lucas went in and redid it all. It just looks great, and not everybody's gonna love it. It's not meant to. I love the new ones. I love which is the versions. Is it this version? I'm fine with these, and I like that I have my options to pick what I want, even though these are technically illegal. But I mean, there's a whole fan community putting these together, so I had to support that. So I bought them. But that's not the last Star Wars in the pile, too. We're gonna start with Star Wars and we're gonna end with Star Wars. And I wonder if you can guess where I'm going with it, because I'm not talking about the new Star Wars. But let's move on. Streaming movies. I like streaming movies, like originals, but there's not many that I would be like, oh, I want to own that. There's a couple, like Netflix has a bunch that I haven't got yet. I don't have that many in this pile. Like, out of over 1,700 movies, I have like less than 20. Like, it's not bad. But one of my favorite raunchy comedies, if you watch the channel, you know I love raunchy comedies. One of my favorite ones in the last couple years that have come out is Sex Appeal, which is a Hulu original. You can only watch this on Hulu. It is so fun. Like, this is it's a female-centric raunchy comedy. So you're following this lead character who is she's very much a nerd. She's very calculating and everything, and she's trying to get into this big school, whatever. So she enters this competition. They have to create an app, and the app is basically for sex. She's never had sex, so she gets with her best friend, or her old best friend, and they kind of she wants to have sex with her boyfriend, but she doesn't want to be inexperienced. So they kind of start experimenting with stuff. And it's so funny. Like, she's got two lesbian moms. One who's basically like, what do you call it? I think a sex therapist. So there's like all kind of sex stuff all throughout the house, and the dream sequences in this. So anytime there's like like something happens sexually, it goes to this like dream sequence, which are done very well, very well. Like, I think this is one of the best raunchy comedies we've got in the past 5 years, maybe 5 or 6 years, and it's on Hulu, and it's really good. Like, I highly recommend, if you can, if you have Hulu, check out Sex Appeal. Speaking of Hulu, The Valet. I love this movie. This movie is so charming to me. It's got Samara Weaving from Ready or Not, who I'm a big fan of, and it's got, I don't know this Hispanic guy's name. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try. I'm sorry. I know I live in Texas. I don't speak Spanish. I know, kill me. But I've seen him in a bunch of things. He was in the Overboard remake. He's really good in this, and it's and it's a remake of a French movie. Of the same name, which I do want to check that one out too. So if you've seen the French version of The Valet, let me know in the comments below if it's worth like checking out. But The Valet is basically about a valet in LA who has this relationship with the #1 movie star in the world, and it's all for like gimmick and all for play, because he's kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, and she's having an affair with like a billionaire movie producer or something, and she's got a new movie coming out, so she can't have any controversy, and this valet just happens to be stumbling by, and the press is all there, so they're using her being in a relationship with him as a front to move the focus away from her having the real relationship with this billionaire guy. And they have a really charming relationship. It's it's very much like he's much older and she's much younger, but and he's going through a divorce and he's just trying to get his wife back, and it's a love story, but it's not like a typical like they fall in love at the end. They become friends at the end, and it's such a charming movie. I love this movie, and I absolutely had to get it because it's only available on Hulu, and I don't have Hulu anymore. I usually get Hulu like once a year for like a month and just watch everything. Um, Here's another. Okay, speaking of Hulu, Prey. Prey is the only Hulu movie because Hulu is mostly owned by Fox or did Disney at this point. Prey is a Fox movie. Prey's the only one that got a physical media release, and I own that 4K. But these two have not come to physical media, and when they do, like if there's ever a chance where studios get desperate, I will throw these out. I will gladly just toss them. I did it with Hush. I used to have Hush on physical media. As soon as I probably should have waited. I didn't grab it. I probably should have, but it's in a pile somewhere. It's as soon as they announced that they're working on a physical release, I was like, I'm gonna get it. Screw the bootleg. But they took Hush off. It was on Netflix. It wasn't made for Netflix, but it was only in Netflix, and you can't watch Hush anywhere. So that's what I'm saying. If you own Hush on physical media, don't be ashamed because it's not anywhere. You cannot watch it anywhere. So, I mean, that's kind of my point with some of these bootlegs. But I'm also the person, when they get released, I'm going to get them and then toss the bootlegs. This is one of the only real studio movies that has never come to Blu-ray, which I think is a shame, that I own on Blu-ray. Then the quality is fantastic. Dukes of Hazzard. I had this in another video before about DVDs that have never come to Blu-ray. And a lot of people let me know that this actually came to HD DVD, which this is probably a rip-off that, because, I mean, it's got the menus, it's got everything. It's probably a one-to-one copy of an HD DVD because it looks fantastic. I put in the DVD right before to check, and this was a thing too. I don't know if many people have had issues with this, but it's only like a very small movie. So if you saw my John Tucker Must Die video and I was talking about the Blu-ray just didn't work in my players, well, the DVD of Dukes of Hazzard, which I've literally had for almost 20 years since this movie came out, it still has a Blockbuster thing on it and everything, stopped working. I had to put it in my oldest DVD player to work. We're not working my PlayStation 5. We're not working my PlayStation 4. We're not work in my computer player. It just did not work anywhere. But it worked in my old, 2010 or something DVD player that I still have. And that's an issue. It's like, do you want to, I don't know if that's a disc thing. I don't know if it's disc rot. It didn't look like it was disc rot, but it didn't work. So I got this, and this looks great. And it's Warner Brothers. Why hasn't Warner Brothers never put this out? This doesn't feel controversial. What, the redneck boys with the Confederate flag on top of the car, which you see maybe once or twice in the whole movie. I don't think this is controversial, but I don't know if this was Fox and Disney, I would totally understand them never putting this out. But it's Warner Brothers. Why have we never got this on Blu-ray at all? It's crazy to me. So yes, I do own this on Blu-ray, and it looks great. Derry Girls. Derry Girls is one of my favorite, just fun TV shows that I've fallen in love with over the past couple years. This is on Netflix. It's not a Netflix original show. I think it's marketed as that, but it's actually made in Ireland. It's set in the 90s. It follows these 4 Irish girls and this one guy who live in Ireland during the what's it called? I don't know. It's like this. It's like their civil war that's been going on for forever. It's finally over, but it's funny. It's got real it's based off history and real events that happened. And they play real things, and it's so good. And I'm Catholic, so it's basically the Irish, the Catholics and the Protestants, still fighting and everything, like up until like the 90s or the late 90s or whenever. And it's got great 90s music in it. It's got cursing. Like it's like a cable TV show, and it's got cursing in it. Now they did do 3 seasons, and this is an all 3 season pack. I highly recommend this show. It's one of my favorite TV shows on Netflix. I don't think they did a 4th one, but this one has all 3 and just so great. Especially to have them all like right there. So great. This one came to Blu-ray, but it's very independently made. I discovered this on YouTube. Blood Machines. This is so good. So this is available on Shudder, or it used to be available on Shudder, which is kind of surprising because Shudder usually puts their stuff out on physical media. But I think it's made in France. It's like it's in English. All of this is in English. But I think it was made in France. By it doesn't say on the packaging. Basically, it's a sci-fi movie. It's pretty short. I think it's done in 3 chapters, but this one's put all together as like one movie, and it's like 50 minutes, maybe 45. The visual effects in this are done incredible. It looks just fantastic. It's meant to look crappy too. It's meant to look grungy and gritty, and like they shot it basically all green screen, and it looks so good. There's stuff you can find on YouTube about how they made it, because they make music videos. Was it Carpenter Brute, something like that? They made this movie and they released this on Blu-ray. But this is one of those, like, if you've heard of the In Search of Darkness series, where like those Blu-rays were like $80, so you can get like all 3 seasons of that documentary now for like $300. Like they made like very small quantities of In Search of Darkness. Well, they made very small copies of this. Like you can't buy this anywhere. I've looked everywhere, and even then it probably would be like way too expensive, more than I would want to pay. If you haven't seen this, I very highly suggest checking it out. It should still be on Shudder. It was on Shudder, but if it's not, this is one I can see going away. You know, if you don't own it, it's going away. But I love Blood Machines. It's so good and so artistically done. Lots of nudity, but not in like not really in a sexual way. It's sexual, but not like that way. The Prince on HBO Max. This TV show is so offensive. I had to get this because I can totally see HBO taking it off. Because there was a period HBO Max started taking a bunch of content off of their streaming service, and this was made for Max. And I don't know if it's off yet, but it could be. Like, I seriously, like, this is so offensive, and it's so funny. It's basically following the royals, you know, and it's acted by some really big celebrities. I think like Orlando Bloom is in this. Who else? So many people. Sophia Turner. There are so many like famous actors voicing these characters. It's basically following Prince, you know, the young princes right now, they're kids, and man, when they see this growing up, I feel bad for them because it's so offensive. And what they do to the queen and her husband, Prince Philip, Prince Charles, Diane. Oh my God, Camilla. It is Harry and Meghan. Oh, they get the butt of the joke. I can totally see them taking this off, so I had to get this. But if you've seen it, if you're into like adult cartoons, this is a very adult cartoon, and it's funny. It's funny as shit. I Posed for Playboy. This is the movie I was telling you about that has never come to DVD, Blu-ray, anything. This is a made-for-TV movie from, I think, 91 or 92. 91 or 92. With Linda Carter. That's why I got it, because I'm a huge Linda Carter fan. And she's in this. Now, it's called I Pose for Playboy. There's no nudity in it. Actually, there is nudity. I lied. There is nudity in it. I say made-for-TV. It might have been, I don't know the original, like, station. Like, I don't know if it was like Cinemax, Cinemark, I mean, like Showtime. I don't know if it was one of those. Probably a Cinemax thing. I really don't know. It doesn't really say on here. It just says Republic Pictures. But it's basically these housewives who are like wanting more confidence in their life, and they pose for Playboy. And the quality of this copy is not really that amazing. It's probably the best quality you're gonna get for this. It's probably a YouTube rip. I think this is available on YouTube for free somewhere. I actually made this custom cover myself because the cover it came with was just kind of, I don't know, kind of bland and generic. And I found when I was like really searching for the VHS because I was trying to own the VHS. It was like $90 and it was like used, and like I love VHS, I collect the VHS, but spending that much on a used, I'm like, nah, I'll pay like $20-$30 and get like a bootleg. It's fine. Um, but yeah, if you get a chance, check this out on YouTube because I think that's the only place it's available. It is a made-for-TV movie, so you just got to take from the early '90s, so you just got to take that into consideration. But if you like Linda Carter, highly suggest this one. There is one more bootleg that I don't have in here. Sorry if I'm stuffy. I'm getting over a like really bad cold. That's why I haven't really been filming in a week because I've been like sick. My Date with the President's Daughter. I've talked about it on the channel before, so I'm not really going to go into that here. But that's another bootleg I have. But I didn't know that was a bootleg when I bought it. But last on this list, we're going back to Star Wars. And I will say, these are my favorite Star Wars movies since The Force Awakens. I really like The Force Awakens. I think The Force Awakens is a great movie. I really like it. I know it's like people don't like it, some people like it. I really like it. The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, I think are some of the worst. I feel like they've gone really downhill, but Disney Star Wars made they've been making these little series that I've fallen in love with, and I think they're some of the best. And they're kids movies. But the Lego Star Wars movies. So we have Holiday Special, which is probably the best one out of this. Terrifying Tales, which is so basically we have Christmas, Halloween. Halloween's coming up. If you have Disney Plus, check out Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales. It's so good. And then probably the least good out of all these is Summer Vacation. Summer Vacation is just kind of meh. But it follows all your, it follows Rey and Finn and Poe and all, the Emperor and all the characters you love, but in Lego Star Wars film. And they have fun with this. This is literally a parody of Star Wars. Like, this is Deadpool level. They are just making fun of themselves. And it is so good. It's like a time travel movie. She, like, Rey's got to go back in time to, I forgot, she's got to get something because it's Life Day. That's what they call Christmas in Star Wars, Life Day. And it's so fun. Darth Vader is basically a simp to the Emperor, and it's so great. The Emperor's a dick. I swear to God. Terrifying Tales is basically Jabba the Hutt's. Is it Jabba the Hutt or is it Jabba the Hutt's cousin or something? Basically takes over in Mustafar, I think, for Darth Vader, and he's like trying to turn it into a theme park. It's so funny. This one's really good. Like, this is one of my favorite ones. Summer Vacation is really, I don't know, what would I think of it as? You remember that beach party movie back in like the early 2000s with Kelly Clarkson and that other guy? It's kind of like a Lego version of that. It's the weakest of the three, but it's still okay. But Holiday Special and Terrifying Tales, very high recommend. If you have Disney Plus, watch these movies. And if you collect Star Wars, I need to get slipcovers for these to kind of complete the slipcover Star Wars things. But I keep these with the Lego. Because I keep my stuff in alphabetical order, so these are more in the Lego of the L's. But this is probably some of my favorite Star Wars on physical media right now. Like, they're so good. They're so good. So that's my bootleg collection. It's not that many. like I don't actively search these things out. And there are so many more I want. Like my bootleg collection should be way higher than this, especially when Netflix movies. Like Six Underground, Who Be Halloween. Those are my, as Chase from AV Pop Culture likes to say, my targets. Like those are movies I'm targeting. I got to air quote because it cracks me up. And like Netflix has so many bangers that will never come to physical media. I think the only things they release on physical media is like Stranger Things, like House of Cards. I have House of Cards on physical media, like the legit issues. They stopped doing it. They only do it for their like really prestige stuff. But some of their like really fun, goofy stuff, like The Babysitter. I want The Babysitter and The Babysitter 2, Killer Queen. I want those. I don't have them yet. But I kind of stopped watch. I got rid of Netflix a long time ago. I don't even really watch Netflix anymore. I don't watch any streaming anymore. The only one I have is Amazon, and I barely watch that because I don't really have it for streaming. You know, I watch more Tubi and movies on YouTube. YouTube's got some bangers, man. Like for real. But if you collect bootlegs, like I'm not here to judge you, and I hope you don't judge me. I feel like it's something. It's just part of this community, and we can love it or we can hate it, but it's there, and I'm not here to endorse it. I'm just here to show you what I have, and to tell you I'm not ashamed of having these movies, because I don't want to spend $90 on a VHS. I don't want to pay for streaming services the rest of my life to watch one or two movies that I like in a sea of like thousands of movies on the service that I don't like. I'd rather just pay $20 that month subscription, find it bootleg, and just be like, shh, I don't know what you're talking about. And until I get on YouTube and make a video and be like, look what I got.